Hello everyone, welcome to Flosstube number 65. It's Friday the 5th of September and my name is Sally. I'm Flossie Sews and Grows here on YouTube and also on Instagram. Predominantly I'm going to talk to you about cross stitch. Occasionally I talk about other things as well. I've got lots to show you today. Fin stitching and it's actually so excited, it's my 3-year anniversary being on Flosstube. So I started 3 years ago, so in 2022, and I think my first video was a back to school special and I showed you quite a lot of my projects. So that was 64 Flosstubes ago. So it's been a great 3 years. I've so enjoyed talking to you all and just the interaction and the community and all the people that I've met, because people have, you know, at Big Stitch, for example, people came up to me to say, I just wanted to say hello, which I think if I wasn't on here, I wouldn't necessarily have met those people because they wouldn't have had a reason to come and say hello. So it's wonderful. Absolutely love it. So hang on in because I have got a little giveaway. So it'd be great to see you at the end of the video or near the end of the video when I will do that. So thanks for joining me. If you're new, welcome. Lovely to have you here. Be great if you're not already subscribed, if you perhaps go and do that. Again, at the end of the video, watch me first. Make sure you're happy with what you see. And yeah. So I've got lots to show you. I've got a finish, I've got a start, I've got whip goes for August, I've got a whip go I've already started for September, plans, Stitchy kindness, haul, and a giveaway at the end. So let's get cracking. I do have a finish and it's this one. I'm going to show you the chart because I haven't quite stitched it all. So it's the blue flower, it's the autumn bee, and I loved this. I really loved it, and I don't know, I just didn't enjoy stitching it. So here's my finish. Here we go. I think I said to you a couple of weeks ago I was going to get the bee finished, maybe stitch a flower or two and call it a day, and that's what I've done, and I'm happy and fine with that. Just I don't know what it was. This is a fabric of the month by Crafty Kate. So no, it wasn't the fabric because I love stitching on Kate's fabric. I think I had a problem with some of the colours. I perhaps wasn't as happy with some of the colours that I had chosen. So I made some alternatives, made some changes. I frogged a lot. I frogged a lot on these wings as well, on both sides. Last week I did a big chunk of stitching and then realised I was a thread out on a stitch and it had followed down and it just looked awful and I had to rip it all out and restitch it. So by the end of that I was really fed up, but I think it's beautiful. I have a plan for it. I'm not going to tell you what the plan is. You will find out. And I'm just calling it a day. I'm calling it as a day with a successful stitch. Yeah, so pleased with it. Pleased to have it finished. It's gorgeous. I loved it. I love the chart. But it's funny, isn't it? Some things, and you know, I hear other floss tubers who say, just wasn't for me. And that one, it wasn't. And I don't know why. But there we go. So that is a finish. I have had a start. So I've been really good at trying not to spend any money, trying not to start too much because I want to stitch what I've already got. But I couldn't resist this one. This is the chart. It is White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. Now I've started this to celebrate the birthday of my friend Caroline, who's Caroline Stitch Corner. And her birthday was at the end of August. And I've made, it's beautiful, made a really good start. So I've started on, this is the left hand top corner, and I'm stitching this on. It's written on the fabric actually. So I got this in a D-stash, or I bought some stuff in a D-stash and was gifted this bit. I can't quite remember which way round it was, but it's a lakeside linen and it's 40 count mocha and it's beautiful. kind of a pinky brown, but it's not too pinky. And now I had a lot of debates with Caroline and Fanny, who is Cross Stitch Couture, because Fanny's also starting this. Had a lot of debates about the fabric I was going to use. And Fanny, I sent a photo, and Fanny said, "Oh, that one's great," and it was quite a brighter pink one. And I just thought, no, it needed to be a little bit grungier, and I think this one suits it really nicely. So I've made a start, and I'm stitching this with the called for NPIs. So I showed you the NPI silk. So I showed you on my last video that I'd bought those from Letitia at Corrie's Little Shop. And wow, they are just beautiful to stitch with. I've stitched with silk before, but only a very small, tiny project. So this is kind of, you know, a bigger project to be stitching in silk for me. Just beautiful, and the stitches just sit so nicely, and it's just so gorgeous. Somebody did say to me, you know, now you've started, you won't want to stop. But, you know, as you can see, I've got a lot of cotton behind me. I have got a few silks in there that I've been gifted. You know, it's quite an expensive hobby to have, isn't it? And want stitching in silk. So we'll see. But this one only has, I think, 5 or 6 in it. So for me, it was a kind of conscious thought of, yeah, I'm going to get those because there's not many colours, and also it was a little treat for me for passing my work exam. So yeah, just love, 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 love. And it's interesting, Fanny and Caroline, oh, let me show you the silk. So actually I have popped just the strand that I'm using on thread drops, and then I'm keeping the silks in a little pouch that my friend Hazel made for me. So I'm missing one, but Letitia has it on back order for me. So yeah, the silks, they're just beautiful, beautiful colours. Greens, so I mean mainly greens, 2 darker, 2 lighter, a white, and then the one I'm missing is it's a golden marigold colour. So, and actually I'm also keeping this in a little retreat pouch that Hazel has also made for me, because it's a PDF pattern, so we don't have a pattern to keep in there. And I'm going to try and pop everything away today, just to slightly keep on top of things. So I'm so pleased with that start, and I'm so thrilled Caroline chose it for her birthday. So that was my one start since I last saw you. Yeah, I've been good. I've been good. Whips do have good pile of whips here though. So I had my whip goes for August were With Thy Hands by Teresa Kogut and Santa and the Wool by Kathy Barrick and Liz Matthews. So this is the first one, With Thy Hands. Gorgeous, gorgeous chart. I was inspired to do this because Elaine at Ellie Welly Stitcher and Sally, who is Stitchy Sally, were doing this as one of Sally's 60th birthday new starts. And I couldn't get it straight away, so I didn't start with them on Sally's birthday. But as soon as I got it, I started it last year. So, and I think Caroline is stitching this with me as well. Caroline Stitch Corner, and Natalie, who is So Stitch So Nat, is definitely stitching it with me. Natalie often tells me that she normally stitches it on the day that she watches my Flosstube. So it could be slow progress, Natalie. And I'll show you a picture of where this was the last time I stitched it. And it's a bit big to put up on the board. This is where we are today. So my whip go, I do 5 sessions over the month. And I try and do it on days where I can either stitch more than once, so perhaps I might put half an hour in an hour before work and then do some again in the afternoon, evening, or at a weekend when I can get a good chunk of stitching in. So it isn't, you know, 5-10 stitches here and there. It is a good, you know, 200 or 300 stitches at a time. So the last time you saw it, it didn't have this border on this side and it didn't have this border on this side. And I decided to put those in so that I got a bit of a guidance of where I was. So I've put those 2 borders in, which has meant I've come and stitched this beehive up here and the flower, and then I have also started on getting this running down here as well, and I've stitched the scissors, the word stitch, and started on, I don't know if there's anything else goes inside that, and started on that as well. So I really feel I've made some really good progress on that. It was quite slow going, but 5 good sessions have given me a good basis for it. Now, I've also left it in a position that, certainly when I went to the Wrexham retreat, I was stitching this black bit here because it was really easy. It was a repeating pattern, didn't have to think about it, didn't have to look at the chart. That again happens here, but just the other way. So I've left that in a place where I could take this to Stitch in London, which I'm going to in October, so that I've got some easy stitching to do. And it's on 36 count, so I don't need magnification for that. So that's a really good one to take. So really pleased with the progress that I have made on August Whip Go for this one. I'd like to think, I mean, it's still quite a lot to do. There's still the B-scape on the other side, finishing the symbols here and coming right, there's this whole section down here that I need to do as well. Sorry, there's a little bit of glare on that. So there's still, on the top border, bottom border, there's still quite a lot to do. But I really think that, you know, I've made such good progress on that. I could, you know, spend some good time on it to get well underway for working towards a finish, hopefully in the early 2026. I'm stitching it with predominantly the called for DMC threads. I think there's one or two weeks dye works in there that are called for that I've also got, and I'm stitching it on a 36 count country vintage mocha, which is a great linen to stitch on. So that was Whip Go number 1, so completed my goals for August on that one. The other one, this is actually, I bought the PDF, and this is just quite a printout, and it's getting a bit scruffy now because it's kept in my project bag, but it's Santa and the Woolmakers by Kathy Barrack and hello from Liz Matthews. So mother-daughter collaboration there. Now, I did show you this on my last video. It had also been Whip Go in July, and I hadn't quite managed to get the sessions completed in July, so I carried 2 over. So I had 7 sessions in August to do on it, because it got called again for a second month, and actually I only managed to get 5 sessions in August done. So I have pulled 2 over into September, and I have now done them both. So you did see this two and a half weeks ago when I last filmed, and this is what it looked like then. I have done 2 sessions, but I think I've faffed quite a lot on this, so let me show it to you. Here we go. So you can see I've completed Santa's cloak at the bottom here, given him some shoes, done the sheep's feet, and I've started on the barn here just to get some progress really. Now, I've had a little bit of a debate with myself about the sheep. Let me just move in a little bit closer. Now, the sheep should be stitched in the white that is in Santa's beard. Now, you know that I'd stitched this doodah here in white and it wasn't really showing up, so I stitched it in a toile, and I will stitch all of the white kind of snowflakes and flowers in a toile so it can be seen a little bit more. Now, I didn't really fancy doing the sheep in a toile, so what I've actually done is, can you see, I have picked, now let me tell you what colour it is. It's in the project bag. I've picked a very, very light blue. It's 3072. It's, I would say, light blue, silver grey. And that's what I've stitched for the sheep's head so far. Now, I think that looks okay. And actually, it does look more grey than blue, I think, on this fabric. Now, this fabric is XU Designs 40 count lamb's wool. So it's a little bit pinky coloured, but it's still very pale. So just making that white show is quite tricky. I think that is a good option for that sheep. So I'm going to carry on with it. It's, you know, sheep are never really white, are they? They're never white. They're always a little bit dirty and a little bit grey. I did think maybe more I could use a creamy colour, but then I don't think you would see it on the fabric either. So I think that kind of very pale silvery blue, grey colour will be okay. I mean, it's a very, very delicate sheep. Now the sheep, he is quite big. He's quite a big sheep, and he has got a little pattern in him as well, so he's got another darker colour in him, which should help him stand out a little bit. But I'm glad I've made that decision. So yeah, it doesn't look like I've made much progress, but I was faffing a little bit. I think once I'm going to put this down now, I'm not going to stitch on this in September, just because I need a break. I've had it on Whip Go for 2 months. It won't be finished for Christmas. There's so much to do. There's so much little itty bitty stitching. That border is huge. It's not going to be finished for this Christmas. I need a break from it. But when I get back to it, that sheep, I think I can make a lot of progress on that sheep quite quickly, and on that barn as well. And it then will be a case of all the kind of little motifs and the leaves and things around the sides, which that will take time. They are fiddly. And I have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed doing what I've been stitching, but I need a break from it, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm happy to say that. I don't want to resent it or feel rubbish about it. I'm stitching it, so it's charted in MPI, but I'm doing it with a variety of flosses. So there is a DMC conversion, but I've actually put in some Roxy Flossco colours and there's some Etoile. So I've just kind of done my own conversion. And you know, I needed to do that as well, I think, because of the colour of the fabric. That yeah, just to make things stand out a little bit. So that one will be, probably won't see that one again now this year. I don't think it will come up. I don't think I've got it on Whip Go again now. I think, yeah, it's had its 2 sessions. It's had its 2 sessions in July and August, but that's okay. Need a break. Probably, I think I started it. So I started it last year as one of my 50 new starts for turning 50, which I did with the lovely Somi Sarah, as she was also turning 50. That was one of the very first ones that I started, and I started it in January. I was still really in Christmas stitching at the time, so it could be that I pull it out after Christmas when I'm still in the Christmas mood and I still want to do some Christmas stitching. So we'll see. But I completed both my Whip Goes for August, so I'm really pleased about that. And shortly I'll talk to you about September, but let me just show you my other whips first. So I also worked on House on Blueberry Hill, and this is by Blueberry Ridge Design, which is Emily Pengelly. She's the daughter of Laurie, who is Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I adore Emily's patterns. I adore Laurie's patterns as well. They're just so they're so me, cute and primitive, but not cutesy cute. Just I love them. So this is House on Blueberry Hill, and I'm stitching this. I'll show you where it was last time you saw it, because I think the last time you saw it, saw it as a new start. I'm stitching this with a group of friends, and we Zoom every 2 or 3 weeks. We try, and we're based, there's a few in Europe, a few in America, and we have called ourselves, thanks to one, I think it was Julie's husband maybe, or Karen's husband, who came up with it, that we're Women of the World. So this is from the Women of the World Zoom group, and we were talking about Emily's patterns, designs on one of our Zooms, and we decided we all had a chart. We all had at least one chart that we hadn't started by Emily. So we all said, well, let's do it. We've got to do it. Let's have a sal. So this is the Women of the World hashtag Blueberry Stitch sal. And this is where I've got to so far. It is beautiful. I'm stitching it on 36 count Pemberley by Swan Bay Fabrics. Beautiful to stitch on. Love, love, love. And I'm using all of the called for DMC, apart from this dark blue here, is a cottage garden thread. I think it's Midnight. It's either Midnight or Elderberry. Let me tell you. Yes, it's Midnight. Oh, and actually I'm also using, there's a Weeks Dye Works blue jeans in there as well. I'm using as an alternative as well. Everything else is the DMC, but they're beautiful colours. I just love it. I love, love, love. And again, as it's 36 count, this is one that I could stitch at a retreat. So as you can see, I've kind of started the house outline and the roof so that actually I could stitch on this at Stitch in London if it lasts that long. And what I might do actually is kind of finish, do the border, do the bottom, and leave the house to do at the retreat, because at that retreat there'll also be Fanny will be there and Caroline, who are both part of this group, and it would be really nice to actually finish this at Stitch in London when I'm with them. So yeah, so I think I'll have to stitch on it before then. And actually I did promise Fanny the chart, so I'll need to get on with it so I can give her the chart while I see her as well. So yeah, but I can finish the hat. If I've just got fill in on the house, I can finish that without the chart as well. But it would be quite nice to finish it by then. That's the, I'm going to weekend 2 for Stitch in London. So I went to weekend 1 last year, and quite a few of my friends went to weekend 2. I was like, well, I'll switch over. The only weekend that Caroline and Fanny could both do was the second weekend. I had something on the first weekend, so I said, well, I'll switch to weekend 2. And then a lot of my friends who were on weekend 2, who I didn't see, have switched to weekend 1. Ha! It's terrible, but it will be lovely. I've obviously met Caroline before. She came over for the big stitch earlier this year, last year. Gosh, it was last year. And I haven't met Fanny before, so I'm really, really looking forward to meeting her in person. So I'm very excited. So if you're also going to weekend 2 for Stitch in London, please do let me know. And if I've not met you before as well, do let me know and then come and say hi, because that'd be really nice. Because I think there's a lot of people who are going to weekend 2 who I haven't met before, because I've done weekend 1. So that would be really, really lovely. So my next whip, oh, I ironed it and it's looking a little bit creased, is the Fancy Blacket. So this is a part of the Fancy Blacket sale for 2025. Hopefully by now I will have shown you the chart, because I've got it on haven't got it on PDF. I actually have a copy of it. I was going to buy it on PDF. I didn't have to because I got sent. There we go. My lovely friend Alison sent me that one because she thought true. This is, so I will have also shown you where I was up to last time, and I made lots of progress on this. So this is where I am now. Sorry, I'd ironed everything. I ironed everything. I prepped yesterday and then everything fell off the ironing board. I was cursing. I really was cursing. So it's just got that little crease in the middle. So that's the progress I've made. That house, that hen house is chunky. That's really chunky. Again, possibly one I've for stitch. I think I say this, it makes it sound like I'm going to do lots of stitching in Stitch in London. It probably won't happen because I'll be too busy running around, chatting, spending money, and yeah. So I've got all these great plans for doing lots of fill-in, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. But there we go. So this is a Humble Abode, and it's on 36 count Norland Mist, which is another Swan Bay Fabrics. And again, I've not been able to, I've really struggled to put this one down. As you can see, I've made so much progress. And I'm stitching this with Elaine, Kirsty, Alison, Ali, Laurel and Laurie, who are all part of the Fancy Blacket gang. So great progress. So Fancy will go in the middle here, the border comes along here, and then there's some birds to do there. So I think I've made quite a decent amount of progress on that. And actually, if I did do some at stitching, or if I could actually put, yeah, might be able to finish it for Halloween this year. There's quite a few of the ladies. I think I know Elaine and Kirsty haven't finished it yet, but I've got a feeling that Ali or Alison, I can't remember if one or both, and Laurel have all finished. There we go. I haven't. So whip goes for September. So I had, if you can remember, I did a whip parade 2 episodes ago because I hadn't got an awful lot of stitching done. I just wanted to get everything out and make plans and kind of sort out what needed to be prioritised, and that was a really, really good session. And I'd realised that I had got 5 gaps on my whip go board because I'd had projects on there that I'd finished during the year, and so when the numbers were going to be called, I wouldn't have anything on there. So I asked you out there if you would vote for your favourite project, or what you think, the project you thought I should put on my whip go board. Now, I had lots of votes, lots and lots of votes. And the top, so I'll tell you the top ones were Away We Ride, Blueberry House, The Quacker, Strawberry Fields, Remember Me, Nessie Mitchell, and then the Plum Street Samplers Home for Christmas. And that was the order. So Away We Ride got the most votes. Now, the September numbers were called, and it was both numbers, I can't remember the numbers now, are they 14 and 17? Both numbers that had a project in them already. So the first one was Away We Ride, and then the other one was The Spring Quaker by Lila Studio. So I've still got my blanks, but of course Away We Ride was the top one, but it's on for September. So I'm quite happy to be picking it up. This is what it looks like. And this is what it looked like the last time I did it. The last time I stitched on it. And here it is today. So I have done 2 sessions on this now already for September, because as soon as it came up, I wanted to pick it up. I think I did a session on Santa and the Wall first. I was like, I must do one of my August ones that's overhanging first, and then had a session on this, and then a couple of days later had another session. So you can see I have worked really hard to get this border here. I think I'd done a little bit here and I'd come down to here, but I've managed to get that bit finished there, and luckily it all did match up. I've also stitched in the word witch, and I've done a few of the, I think I've stitched this and filled in a few doodahs. So 2 sessions, I feel like I've made, just by getting so much of that border done, I feel like I'm really winning. I'm really winning on this. And I've got another 3 sessions left in September. And I have a feeling that because I love this one so much, and I would like to get it done for Halloween, that once I've done my next 3 sessions, I may carry on. So if this comes up, we'll know at the end of September what the whip go numbers are for October. If this comes up in October and it's not finished, it will definitely be, it's the number 1 top voted project. It will definitely be stitched on in October. If it doesn't, I'll probably stitch on it in October anyway. And well, no, if I get a blank. So I've got, let me just have a look. Let me tell you what we've got outstanding now on the whip go board. So we've got, so Still to Go is number 1, and I've got Remember Me on that. Number 3 is blank. Number 6 is the Rainbow Quaker. Number 13 is blank. Number 17 is Feast of Friendship. And then number 22 and 25 are blank. So there's 1, 2, 3. So there's 3, 1, 6 and 17. If I got any of those, if I got one of those and a blank, for October. That blank, if Away We Ride isn't finished, would definitely be Away We Ride. But if I got, say, 1 and 6, that was Remember Me and Rainbow Quaker, Away We Ride is going to be finished anyway in October. So what would then happen? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks still left. I'll then move to the next one. So the next one is Blueberry House. Again, if that's finished in October and then that big. So what I'm saying is I'm not going to fill those blanks in just yet, because if I fill them in and then it's a project that I have finished, I've got to rework it. So I'll wait for the numbers to be called. If it is a blank, I'll put in the first project that's not yet finished. And yeah, does that all make sense? It all sounds a bit jumbled up. It makes sense to me. I hope you're with me still. You can't answer me back. I hope you're just all nodding. Thumbs up. Just go and click on the thumbs up if you're still with me. Anyway, there we go. So those are my whip goes for September. Now, Away We Ride. It's just a gorgeous stitch. Again, I love the fabric. So I'm stitching this on 36 count XG design fabric. I'm stitching it with the called for. It's predominantly fancy floss. I think I pretty much had it all. I was also stitching Feast of Friendship and First Winds, and a lot of the colours swap over and are in all, a combination of all three. So I think I did buy some new ones last year to do that. Now I'm stitching Away We Ride with some lovely friends. So I'm stitching it with Sherry, who is Just So Sherry, Rachel from Talking Dogs, who is the Talking Dog Stitcher, and Lauren, who is Lauren at Flossibilities. And we decided at the big stitch last year when we met up, we were all going to stitch on this. And we're doing the hashtag called #AwayWeStitch. Now, I think I've probably made the most progress on this. I think Sherry's probably next. And then, obviously Lauren has a full-time job and her designing business. And Rachel is very, very busy running the Talking Dog Stitchery. So, and also she has a lot more whips than I do. I think Sherry probably does as well, actually. So I think I have probably made the most progress. And I'm sure I will finish first, but ho-hum, because I love it, so I don't want it to end, but also it'd be lovely to have it up and framed for Halloween. So we'll see how we go with that one. So, and then my other whip for this month is Spring Quaker Lila Studio. Haven't stitched on that yet, but we're still quite early in the month. It's only the 5th. So 5 sessions will be done on that. And I'm quite pleased that's come up. It's still quite we're kind of into that mixed weather now of we're starting to see some rain, but then we also are seeing a little bit of sunshine. So it doesn't yet feel too autumny. So I feel I can stitch on something that's spring. Although I'm desperate. I love Halloween. I absolutely love Halloween. And really I want to stitch all the autumn and all the Halloween stuff, but I'm kind of holding back a little bit. So, plans. I do have some plans. That's all my whips. I'm just going to pop that away again, so it's not too much of a dire situation in here when I finished. I can go in the to be stitched pile. So my plans. Oh, I didn't get it out. Did I get it out? Did I get it out? I did get it out. So plans for September. So I have been stitching the Robin Pickens seasonal courier series, and the first day of autumn is the 22nd of September. So I will be making a start on Blackbird's Autumn. Just love it. Haven't yet got the colours together, but I have already decided I'm going to stitch it on Wiggly. So West Green Loft Yarns, and should have opened. Sorry, didn't realise this wasn't open. Lovely green. So it's the November 2024 fabric of the month, and it's called Pemberley. Lovely green. So I think that will look fabulous. I'm not going to put it back in the bag because that's too crinkly. So that is for the 22nd of September start. And then, oh, I'm really excited about this one. Those of you who watch Elaine, who is Ali Welly Stitcher, she's my fellow Welshie, doesn't live too far away from me, so we're firm friends. And she bought me the Salem Sisters Apothecary. I can't say it. It was funny, I was watching the Primrose Cottage live on yesterday, but I was watching it later after it wasn't live. I was watching the re-recording of it. And what was it that I can't remember now what it was that Lindsay couldn't pronounce. I was shouting it at her. I wish she couldn't hear me, obviously, but you're probably shouting apothecary. Oh, I think I got it then at me. So this is the Salem Sisters apothecary that yes, Elaine kindly gifted for me, and we just finished stitching Twilight together from Tiny Modernist, and Elaine said on her latest Flosstube, oh, we must come up with something new to stitch together, Sally. And I was like, yep, well, I can do that. I can make a suggestion. So I suggested to Elaine that we could start stitching this on my birthday, which is at the end of the month. She was like, great idea. So, because she has it as well. So that's the one we're going to start. Now, need your advice. What do you think? I've got two fabrics. Now, these are both Fabrics of the Month by Crafty Kate. And, oh, how stunning are they? This one is the May 2023 one, and this one is September 2024. So what do we think? Green or purpley blue? But it also has some green in it as well. Now I think what I'm going to do is whichever one of these is I decide on, with your help please. You're very good at voting, and I do listen to you, but I retain the right to go with what my gut is in the end, if I don't agree with your final, if that's okay. Whichever of these is chosen by you or by me, I will stitch with 310, with black 310, because I think they're both so beautiful that really the fabric can carry that. So what do you think? The green? Let me know in the comments below. The green or the bluey greeny purpley. I haven't taken this out, so I'm afraid there are some little bits. There's some back stitching. There are some little bits that I could just pop some fancy floss in, just to, maybe those potion bottles, maybe the stars and I've got some wacky colours. I could just change it, but predominantly I'm going to stitch this in DMC 3 black 310. So let me know what you think. And it's going in a lovely project bag. This is made by Michelle at Stitch Stash. I got it at Harrogate last year. So that is a new start for my birthday with Elaine. Now, I did also have another plan. One of my friends had given me, after she'd stitched it for her football-loving husband, she'd given me the Liverpool football crest. Now, I was going to stitch this, and I decided to... I've had it for quite a while. My friend Justine gave it to me last year after she'd stitched it for her husband. He's a season ticket holder at Liverpool, as is Simon. And Simon takes Felicity because Felicity is just a football mad fanatic. We have his best friend also had a season ticket. Doesn't go anymore, but we didn't want him to sell it in case he changed his mind. So we've taken it on, and Felicity goes, and if best friend wants to go, he can. He has it there to be able to use it. But yeah, Felicity just has become a huge Liverpool fan, and somehow or another she saw this, not my version, but I think she saw it. Perhaps she saw it on someone else stitching it on Instagram, or when she was like, "Oh, Mum, I'd love that," and I was like, "Okay." The next thing that happens, or actually this had happened first, that Justine invited me to a group that has been set up on Facebook by a lady called Lynette, who is the Yorkshire Stitcher. And it is for stitchers who like or support, or partners support football. I love going to Liverpool when Felicity can't go or gives me the opportunity to go. I love it. I love the atmosphere. I suppose I do follow it now. I've always, my ex-husband was a football supporter as well, and I went to a football match once with him, but he didn't tend to go. Simon's been going since he was 18 to Liverpool. He's had a season ticket for a long, long time. So, football, and my dad was a huge Liverpool supporter, so football's always been there, but it's in our lives a lot more now. And so Justine invited me to this group. I thought, yeah, I'll join it. And then Felicity was like, I love that. Would you stitch me that? And I was like, oh, yeah. And the group, basically, you pick your team, and if they win, you say, I'm going to stitch a certain number of stitches. If they get a goal, certain number of stitches. If they concede a goal, da, da, da. So I was like, great. And I missed the first match. I thought, well, I'll start this on the second match. Just before that second match, Felicity said to me, we were trying to come up with something. So she's doing her Duke of Edinburgh award through Scouts, and she needs to do a skill. And we'd had an email from Scouts, and it gave the opportunity to go rifle shooting, crossbow, archery. I said, well, you could do that as your skill. This is something you need to do for 3 months, for an hour a week. You could do that. It's every other week, at one of the Scout huts locally. Oh, well, I'm not sure if I fancy that. And I jokingly said, well, what are you going to do? Cross stitch? And she went, I couldn't I? It means I can stay at home and I don't have to go anywhere, and I can do it in the evening with you in front of the telly. I've tried to get this girl to cross stitch for years and she hasn't wanted to. I was just like, oh, well, that would be wonderful, and I might have something that you could stitch. And she said, well, I'd really like to stitch the Liverpool crest if you could get that for me. And I was like, oh, that might be able to arrange that. So anyway, long story cut short, I need to give her a cross stitch lesson, but I haven't yet picked anything now to stitch for this group, and I'm really far behind. So I think possibly I might have to speak to Justine, because she's doing Liverpool too, and say, how many stitches do I need to do? I need to catch up. And because there've been 2 home and 1 away match. Now, I was initially thought if I was going to stitch the crest, I'd only do the home games, because obviously Felicity would be at them with Simon, so I'd be able to stitch at home and her not know what I was stitching on. But I can't, she doesn't go to the away game, so I wouldn't be able to do it during the match. So I thought, I'll only do the home games. But now I'm going to have to pick something else to stitch. And I'm wondering, I might use the quacker, because obviously I'm on a timeline to get the quacker finished. I'm doing it electronically so I can count my stitches and know how many I've got to do. And for example, in September, I will be stitching nearly 1,000 stitches just to get my goals done to get it stitched in time for Big Stitch. So I'm thinking I'll use the quacker, but I need to catch up. But anyway, if you like football, well, it's soccer. And for you, those of you in America, it's soccer, but football in the UK. So if you're a football fan, you're on Facebook, go and have a look for this group. I can't tell you what it's called. I'll pop it here of what the group is actually called, because I'm recording on my phone and I've only got Facebook on my phone. So I'll tell you what the group is called, but it's great, and lots of people in there who are doing, they're not stitching on something football related necessarily. Some people are, but great group, lots going on. If you just want some encouragement to get some stitches in, really good group to belong to. So hopefully I can catch up and get my plan done and sorted out. So there we are with that. Also, I had plans to carry on with my box of doom. I did go to the range last week and bought a few frames for things that weren't in the box of doom when I showed you my box of doom back in April, but for things I've finished since. So, there's even more on the finishing pile now. So it's getting quite dire. So really, really need to spend some time doing that. Stitchy kindness. I've had some fabulous kindness actually this week. This one isn't necessarily stitchy, but a while back, quite a few Flosstubes ago, I don't know why, I do ramble, don't I talked about ranch dressing and how I loved ranch dressing in the States. And one of you lovely listeners, a lovely lady called Karen, picked up on this. And she was travelling to Europe this summer, and she messaged me and said, "Oh, can I have your address? I'm going to send you some ranch dressing." I was like, "Yes, please." She sent me, not just one, she sent me quite a few of these ranch dressing packets from the States. Thank you so much, Karen. We haven't yet given it a go, and I know you did say you'd email me a recipe, but I think you still might be. I'm not sure if you're still away or not, but I think. So I think this is probably the packet version is going to be what I would have had in the States. So I decided to really like ranch dressing in the States when I did Camp America, and I went to a camp in Connecticut. And actually, this camp attracted me because I live near Chester, and this camp was in Chester, Connecticut. So I went there for the summer as a counsellor. I was 21. I was 21 because I could legally drink, which was great. And I think probably the chef or the cook at the camp would have used these to make the ranch dressing, because it was a YMCA camp, so it wouldn't have been pushing out the boat on expensive food. It would have been probably a packet food. So I think this is going to take me back to summer of, when was it, 1990. 96. I think it was summer 1996. It's going to take me back. So thank you so much, Karen. That was just such a nice thing for you to do, and I'm really, really can't wait to try it. So that was my kindness that wasn't quite stitchy, but was stitchy related. The other bit of stitchy kindness, I have been sent the cotton and twine box for August 2025, and which I think you will have probably, there was a little problem with, I think it was the frames, that the frames were late coming, so I didn't get this out before didn't receive this before the date that you could order it by had finished. But it's come, little witchy. I think this is going to go, yeah, my Halloween display. I've got so much Halloween, so that's come, fabrics, threads. So haven't made a start yet, but there we are that's the August box. Now the September box, so you can't order that box now. That's been and gone. The next one is the September box, which is designed by Crochetta Go-Go. Beautiful, beautiful box. Hasn't arrived with me yet. I imagine it'll be early next week, so hopefully I'll have it to show you on my next Flosstube. Beautiful box with little knitted pumpkin decoration, that's the word, a honeycomb treat, some fabric for finishing it. It's a great project. I'll put some pictures up here so you can see what it looks like. You have till the 25th of September if you'd like to order that. Now, Cotton and Twine have come up with a fantastic idea to change up the way that they are doing the boxes. So they are still offering the original box as it is, with all the goodies, the decorations, the finishing projects, the little sweet treats, jelly beans this time around. That is still going to be available at a UK price of £20 for Ada, £22 for linen. That is still going to stay as it is, but they are changing it up a little bit, that you can have another option, which is the kit, which is just the linen and linen or Ada, the threads, the needle and the chart. That'll be from a UK price of £14. So imagine that'll be £14 from the Ada, and the linen might be a little bit more expensive. There's also a third option though, where they will offer just the PDF, and that's what, as it says on the tin, it'll be just the PDF, and that'll be from £7. So if, like me, you quite often stitch with a different count fabric, like I normally stitch on 36 or 40, only stitch one strand over two, and you think, oh, I don't want to get the kit because I'll never use the 32 count fabric, and this is great because you now have the option for having just the PDF, and there are some fantastic designs. I know that Crochet A Go Go is going to do more because I believe the other 3 seasons will feature as future projects in 2025 or 2026. I saw that they are also going to have designs from Hands Across the Sea, obviously their own in-house historical sampler designs. Yasmin, I think, will be doing more with Yasmin's Made with Love. So just, they're just beautiful designs, and they are so flexible that if you subscribe, so if you are already getting the original box and you want to change to just the PDF, you can do that. And I think you can change between the 3 as and when you want to, but you can also pause, skip, cancel, or change the plans at any time. So if you think, well, I don't want that design next month, not that keen on it, you can pause it and then restart it the following month when it's one that you really like. Because let's face it, we don't have to love absolutely everything, and but I have to say, I think I've really liked every single box that I've had so far from Cotton and Twine. So thank you very much, ladies, for sending those to me. I love showing them to you all, and hope that encourages some purchases. If you haven't had a subscription before and you'd like to subscribe to the Cotton and Twine boxes, there is a code here for the first box. You can get 15% off with the code of FIRST15. So there we go. So no contract or commitment. You can pause, skip, cancel, or change plans at any time. Historical Sampler Company are also doing a wonderful magical gingerbread house stitch along. That's currently open for pre-orders. I believe quite a few of the US orders have already been dispatched, and for everyone else, they're hoping to dispatch by the 25th of September. So there's still time if you would like the kit for this. There was an advent box, but I believe that has sold out, but there is a kit for this still available, and will be, so you can still order it, dispatch around the 25th of September. The launch date, I think we're talking about a 4-week stitch along. The first PDF will be sent out on the 13th of October for that, so there's still plenty of time. Hopefully you've seen some of the pictures. I'll put some of the pictures in so you can see what that one looks like. I will be doing that. The ladies at Historical Sampler Company have kindly said that they will be sending that one to me so I can stitch along with you. And yeah, looking forward to that one. So finally, oh no, not quite finally, I have got a little more after that. I have bought a few things. I did buy a couple of things on D-Stash. So I've bought this lovely Spring Moon from Plum Street Samplers on D-Stash, and also some Coffee Craft fabric. Should have taken out the wrapper, but haven't. Gorgeous blue 36 count fabric. And I've also bought a few PDFs. So I'll show you 2 of them. One of them I can't show you because it's going to be a present for somebody, and somebody who watches me. But I saw last week Michelle at Mama Loves You GB had an offer, a back to school offer, for if you bought 2 or more of her PDFs from her Etsy site, you could get 40% off. And I'd already had my eye on this one. Because this one is a chart that was inspired by Michelle's visit to Hardwick Hall last year with Christina from Whilst Iris Naps and Kerry from Roxy Floss Co and Caroline from Evertotes. They went to visit Hardwick Hall, which is a National Trust house in, I want to say the Peak District, yes, kind of south of Sheffield and south of where Big Stitch was. And I visited it a couple of weeks later because we had a free day, and I thought Fliss was doing something with Scouts. I was away with Scouts, and we had a day off, and I was like, I want to do something. Let's go to Hardwick Hall. So Simon took me to Hardwick Hall. Loved it. It's great. Best of Hardwick was the owner, and she was a very very prolific stitcher and loved fabrics and tapestries and things. Spent a lot of money on tapestries, which are still at Hardwick Hall. It's amazing. And this sign was on the seats of things that National Trust don't want you to sit on. Now, my mum is the hardest person to buy something for, and she says to me, well, I cross stitch, you cross stitch, there's so much cross stitch in my house and in your house, don't stitch me anything else, because, well, where am I going to put it? But I want to stitch for her. Anyway, I think this is perfect because she has a chair in her house that you cannot sit on. And you can guarantee, I can remember when she used to have dinner parties, she'd say to me, just go and sit on that seat until all the guests have arrived. This was when I was a teenager. Go and sit on that seat until all the guests have arrived. You can guarantee the one with the biggest bottom, the heaviest man, will go and try and sit on that seat. And she'd be like, you can't sit there. So I'd have to go and sit on it until everyone had arrived and picked a different seat, and then I could move and leave. So I thought this would be perfect to put on that chair so that nobody sits on it. And then the other one I chose is quite a new release for Michelle. It's a little needle case, maybe. And I loved it. I loved it when she showed it a couple of weeks ago, 2 months ago now. I thought, oh, I must get that, and I hadn't. And so this offer came up, and hopefully you'll see this before the end of the day. You might have the opportunity to go and have a look if the offer's still on, and buy a couple of charts from Michelle. So I bought this one, and then I bought a third as well, which I'll show you when it's stitched. How about that? So yes, so that was my little bit of haul, which I was very excited about. So finally, as it's my 3-year Flossiversary, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to wait until I hit 2,500 subscribers, but that could be quite a while. I've only got about 140 to go, but it seems to be slow going. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do go and subscribe. So I thought I'd do this now, and then I'll do another one when I get to 2,500. So I do have some charts that kind of over the last 2 or 3 years have been kindly gifted to me, for me to either stitch or give away. And I think I've decided that these are ones I'm not going to stitch because I have got a lot. So I wanted to share them with you, and I will send them anywhere in the world. I think I can send gifts to the States, but if you're an American winner and there's a problem, I might just hang on to it until I know I can send it to you without a charge or a tariff for you to have to pay, because that would be shocking. So anyway, I've got 4 here which I'd like to gift. So I'll tell you the magic word. So the magic word for this one is Christmas. This one's Home for Christmas from Flamingo Toes, Beverly McCulloch. I'm not sure you can get her in the UK, actually. I've not seen her before for sale. So this is a Home for Christmas. Another one by the same designer is Happy Fall Y'all. This is Flamingo Toes. Oh, so for this one, I'll have the word Christmas. Oh, God. For this one, let's go fall. We've got an It's So Emma Stitch Quarterly Hey Pumpkin. So for this one, pop the word pumpkin down below in the comments section. And then finally, we've got a Jardin Privé Gnome one. This is gorgeous. I just wait to stitch it. I haven't got time to stitch everything. So for this one, let's put the word gnome. So for there, gnome, pumpkin, fall, Christmas. Pop the word in the comments below. Enter one, all, whatever, you do you. Please be 18 so that I can ask for your address, so that I can send them to you. And I'd like these to go to subscribers, because I'd like to thank my subscribers for their support for the last 3 years. So please also be a subscriber. That would be great. And I do check, and if you're not, I pick another name. There we go, because you've supported me and I want to say thank you. So there we go. I'm just about to hit an hour. I'm still on 59 minutes and 27 seconds. So thank you so much for sticking with it. And yeah, I love speaking to you every couple of weeks. Love showing you my stitching. Love chatting to you on Instagram and love the emails and messages that I get where you show me your stitching. I'm just about to get all my autumn stuff out and all my Halloween stuff out and put all my summery stitching away, so that I can decorate for Halloween. So I'm thinking, before I actually do the decorating, I might just show you all of my Halloween stitching, because I've got quite a lot. And I think my first year, my first one was the 7th of September in 2022, and then I think I did my second or third, I was going to start something new, something Halloweeny. Did I start something new? Oh, I started lots. I did a huge load of Halloween stitching, and so much of it is finished and fully finished and on display normally in the autumn. So I'm thinking I might just, on my next video, show you all my Halloween and autumn stitchings, if you fancy that. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that as well. So thanks for tuning in. Lovely to speak to you again. Happy stitching, everybody. Happy Halloween stitching for those of you who spookily love it as much as I do. If you don't, I'm sure you'll find something gorgeous to stitch on anyway. So speak to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.